Nolan.
I'm Harriet Bradley.
And I'm Caitlin Salter.
And we go to Medina High School on the Isle of Wight. And we're all Year 11s. I think it's a good idea if they teach self-confidence and self-esteem at school, because they kind of aim in school for us to be prepared for when we leave school and go get jobs and stuff. So we kind of need confidence and self-esteem in order to be successful in our job interviews and work with other people. So they should definitely make sure we have self-confidence and self-esteem when we leave.
I think it's a nice idea if schools could actually teach like self-confidence and self-esteem, but in actual fact I don't think it is a thing that can be taught. I think they can try and help you, like in my classes like PSHE and enrichment, they often did role plays to try and help us feel more comfortable and more confident if the situation ever did arise. However, I kind of felt really uncomfortable actually performing these role plays, and I felt it actually knocked my confidence in myself and sort of made me face the fact that actually I wasn't a very confident person rather than boost my confidence. In ethics, I think they should definitely sort of reinforce the whole right and wrong thing with discipline and punishments and rewards and things, and teach different sort of religious stuff as well so we can get along with most people without finding it weird.
I think it's important for parents to teach children self-confidence and esteem as they're growing up, and for schools to reinforce this at the appropriate times for when they leave school. As far as ethics is concerned, I think it's very important for these to be taught all the way through life by people you come across, parents and teachers, to know the right and wrongs of everything that happens.
Okay, well, I think in some ways the national curriculum can have good effects, like, because everyone's learning the same subjects. So it means we technically all have an equal chance of getting a job, because everyone has to learn English and maths, and those are like the basics for most jobs. So technically everyone does get an equal chance of getting jobs. And it also makes it easier for people who possibly have to move like to different schools and stuff, because it just makes it easier for them to catch up, and it means all the other students are also learning the same thing as them. It can be quite have negative effects in that maybe they're all learning, because everyone's learning two of the similar topics when actually everyone lives in different areas, so maybe the stuff they're learning isn't really relative to where they live and their cultures and stuff.
I think the theory of a national curriculum is quite a sensible one, because it makes sense that everyone is learning the same thing at the same time all over the country. However, in reality, it does have quite a few flaws. If you're average, if you like, then I imagine it would work very well. However, for the children who basically don't get along with national curriculum, they struggle in certain areas, then if they don't manage to have a clear grasp of it by the time the school year ends, by the next school year they're going to be behind everyone else, having not learnt it. And year by year they're just going to fall even further behind, and I don't think that's fair on the child. At the other end of the scale, as a child, I never struggled with national curriculum stuff like maths and English and science and all that. It always came very naturally to me. However, because of this, it kind of meant that I did all my work quite quickly and easily, and it often left me bored, often with nothing to do, and the teacher didn't give me much attention because she was too busy helping the other kids. Because of this, I did actually get taken out of school to be home educated from year 4 to year 9, and I think that that's not really good. I shouldn't have been taken out for that reason. I should always have had something interesting to do at school. As well with national curriculum, I think young children are taught to read and write before they're ready and too young, and it just leads for them being disinterested in it. I think that's really sad.
I think a national curriculum has good and bad points. As far as good is concerned, it gives everyone a level thing that they have to know and work on, and so keep similarities, and they're arguably the most important subjects needed for working lives and our futures. However, if people are being forced to work on subjects within the national curriculum which they struggle in, then that could impact on their other subjects, which they could, without having to work on something that they really just can't do, have brilliant grades in which are brought down by a byproduct of the national curriculum. I think overall the best way to make lessons more engaging is probably to have as small class sizes as can be managed, because then you can get more individual attention from teachers to get what you need most out of lessons.
I think that lessons become instantly more engaging if you're given more choice in what you're learning in. It's like, I find if I'm given a project which is very, very specific to work on, I will do the bare minimum to sort of get by. But if I'm given a project which is wider, I have more choice in what I'm learning, what I sort of look up a lot of in detail, or the way it's presented, then I really go for it. I spend hours of my time on it, not only really doing the work very well, but also enjoying it, which is really great. I think school should be as much about enjoyment as possible, really. So yeah. Also, I think this is probably a bit more true with homework as well, because it's like, on a lot of my homework, it was just basically going on Wikipedia and rewording it, and I got nothing out of this. I can't remember anything I did this on, but with things I had more choice on, I definitely gained a lot of skills.
Okay, well, I think to make lessons and education more engaging, they should make it a bit more fun for people, but still in a way that we actually learn something. So, for example, in my French lessons, we used to sing songs with actions, which helped us remember all the vocab we need for our exams and for our coursework. So that was a pretty good way of getting us to learn something, and it made it fun and everyone took part. Also in maths, they kind of used competition to help us learn and participate, because we used to all split into groups and have like quiz things, where we were given sheets of maths questions and we all had to race to see how many we could answer. So we were kind of all doing maths questions and everyone's doing them, even though they normally wouldn't.
In the ideal world, absolutely not. We should so not be compared and ranked against each other, because I think it's sort of awkward and a bit horrible for everyone involved. It's like, if you get put in the bottom set, I cannot imagine it's a nice experience. I think it must really knock your confidence and how you feel about yourself. Likewise, when I was put in top set, I felt kind of embarrassed in front of people, and the amount of pressure that was then put on me to do really, really well was really quite stressful. Also, it's like, when I came into school, my aim was to get a C in maths, but my target was promptly put up to an A, and the teachers not only wanted me to get this grade, they also believed I could do it, and I always felt like I was disappointing someone or letting someone down. Also, I kind of feel like a lot of assumptions are made because you're in bottom set or because you're in top set. Like, people automatically assumed I was academic and not creative, and that I was some sort of genius and everything, which is absolutely not true. And I kind of found that when other students which weren't in top set, found out I was in top set, they didn't really talk to me very much. Or if it was kind of to call me a boffin or a nerd or something, especially in year 9. Because most of my friends now, virtually all my friends are in top set, and it shouldn't really be that way.
I think in some ways we kind of have to be compared with other students, because otherwise the teacher's not really going to know if a student's having difficulties with a certain topic, because if they look at someone who's doing really well and understands it, and then there might be someone who's not doing quite so well as them, then they know that they've got a problem with it, so they can work with them and help them. Also, ranking, I think, can be quite good because it means you're praising the really hard-working students who do well. And it's also a way of kind of naming and shaming the ones who don't do so well, like purposely mess around and stuff. So, and then it encourages them to do better. However, I kind of think it's quite unfair on those who do generally work really hard but just don't really understand the work they've been given. So I think it's unfair to them if they've been like named as being like lowest ranked type thing.